Why K-State?
Coach Klein. That's an easy one. I had talked to a few guys that kind of told me what type of man he was, and at that point, I reached out to a couple people that were already here. I don't know if they want me to say their name, but Trey Scott, and he was like, "Hey, I think he already offered the job to somebody, but stay in touch." And stay in touch to me meant call me every day. So I kept calling and kept calling and kept calling, and he finally called me back, and we had a conversation and kind of took off from there. But yeah, but just from the things I've heard about him from other people, just about his organization. I was just telling those guys about his organization, about what type of man he was. I just went all in on this one. Yep.
What do you think of your room, your collection of backs?
You don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like it's going to be a pretty good room with some talent in the room. I feel like some guys coming to work, and we're going to apply some pressure to them and see what we get out of them.
You brought Rodney with you from Stillwater, essentially. What about your experience there with him for that 1 year made you want to, pursue him and bring him to Manhattan?
Well, I mean, first of all, he's a good kid, but he's one of those guys that's going to do whatever you ask him to do. Like, it's not going to be a lot of thought behind it. If you need him to do something, you tell him to do it, he's going to go do it. And those are the type of guys that you need around. Like, we don't need to do a lot of thinking. Let's go take care of business. I tell all the guys all the time, like myself included, like, we soldiers in this. Like, our head coach, when he asks us to do something, that's our job to get it done. And he's one of those guys, he'll get it done guy.
Easy to convince him?
Yeah, it wasn't hard.
Joe Jackson ended the season strong. Actually, probably had his first, strong game against you guys. What kind of impressed you about the way he finished and what you've seen of him so far?
Joe is a guy that does the right thing. He's one of those dudes that do the right thing all the time, And those are guys that you got to be on a little bit harder than everybody else, because he'll continue. He works hard all the time. He does. He always is where he's supposed to be. But you got to continue to press him to get a little bit more out of him. But he's one of those guys that you'll be happy, you're gonna be lucky to have. But I promise you this, we got a little work to do with Joe. And I think Joe gonna be dynamite. I really do. I really he does some phenomenal things, and we gonna put that little zone work in it, and you'll see that guy. I think he'll do some special stuff for us.
What's your thought on rotating guys there? Do you like to have one main guy, 2, 3, 4? What do we? What's the perfect scenario?
I like to have 3 guys that can go. If one guy get hot, it'll be his show. But I like to have guys that can really. You got to have some options in this world, like with these guys especially. You'll get a guy banged up, and you just never know when. So I like to have 3 guys ready to go. And if one guy get hot, it's his show that time,
You've written Jay over. So it's just what do you see for him? What have you seen from him so far?
Which one?
Jay,
a big physical kid, works hard, a little bit of a specimen, like he's one of those guys. But all in all, I think those 3 guys are something that's going to be really good to have in a room. You'll see some real competition, and I think the outcome will be something that we'll be happy with if we continue to work the right way.
Now that you've been in Manhattan and at Kansas State for a couple of months, when you try to sell or recruit this place to a prospect, or what are kind of the first things that you use and utilize in that way?
Probably the same reason why I came. I mean, Coach Klein is something, that we can all sell. Like I said, you got to have something to sell these young guys. But once you around that guy, like you kind of know what you're getting, And I think all young players want an opportunity to play in an offense that's as potent as the one that he's been able to put out, and in the way they run the football. So if you're a running back, you definitely want to be in this offense. So I think that's an easy one right there.
How different is it to switch schools in conference and be on this side of the deal?
I just want to win, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy as all get out to be here. So, I'm excited to be here with Coach. I'm excited. Like, the staff here, I haven't been around a bunch of guys that was, this locked in at one goal anywhere I've been. So, I'm just excited about being around these dudes and doing the right thing and trying to put together some W's.
That's a good thought. And to build on that a little bit, what's it been like getting to know those guys that you really didn't have much of a relationship with?
It's been pretty easy, honestly, because I think Coach did a really good job of bringing like-minded guys into the place. It's a lot of guys here that's been at K-State before, so K-State means a lot to those dudes. And then the guys that haven't been here before, it's guys that see the vision and ready to push it forward. So I've been really excited about this group of dudes to work with these guys. And the one thing I think that's probably the best thing is everybody kind of allows each other to be who they are. Nobody got to walk in here and stand a straight line or do things a specific way. It's about everybody being able to be themselves and and things been working out really well so far with that.
St. Louis recruiting, it seems like it's gone up a little bit since you've gotten here. Just what do you love about that region and just being around there for so long?
Well, I'm from St. Louis, so we gonna get busy in there. Whenever coach say go, we going to get it. Like, it ain't no excuses, no explanations. If coach don't want somebody out of St. Louis, we going to go get them. Like, we ain't bargaining on that one.
Your career path has been interesting. Just going from high school coach and then jumping right into Illinois tight ends coach. Just what was it about your career path that gets you?
Well, I started I was an accountant at first. And then I was a little league coach. Then I was a high school coach. And I had never thought about being a college coach one day in my life. I was a high school coach. We had some good things going. I expected to be one of those guys that just had an opportunity to win a lot in his home area. And Coach Lovie Smith actually offered me a position. And that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, I think, was tell my players that I was going to take a college job. I had been with a lot of those guys when they were 6 years old, so that was tough. But other than that, though, and from that point, it kind of took legs, and I mean, I had a what I would consider a really good career.
What's the biggest difference going from little league to college?
Oh, listen, I promise you, it's not that big of a difference. Really? No, I just for me, I'm a simple man, and I think simplicity works. I don't think that making things hard or making football into geometry is the way to go. Like, every guy that I've coached, I try to make things as simple as possible. And I'm a firm believer that you can do whatever you want to do if you really put some effort into it. So, I'm trying to make things as simple as possible in my room. I really feel like, I can remember having a 6-year-old team score 60 points in a game, and everybody say, why? How did you do that? Well, I never told them that they couldn't. And I still believe that in college football. You just don't tell guys that they can't. If you come in the room, you can do just about anything. You're going to find out a lot of guys learn different. Some guys going to learn it from the book. Some guys going to learn it from you putting it on the board. Some guys going to learn it from you putting the film up. Some guys you're going to have to walk through it with. But once you find out how they learn, then I think it's pretty easy after that.
Who listens better, college kids or the little league kids?
The little league kids, definitely. College kids know too much. When you have college guys, they smarter than you sometimes. Well, if I stand on this foot, then in little league guys, they okay, coach. They just go and do it. So yeah, it's definitely a lot easier with little league guys.